Good afternoon, and welcome to the Columbus Municipal School District Board regular meeting. Today is Monday, August the 14th, 2024, and the time is 5:03. We will have our invocation by Reverend James Richardson, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Gracious and eternal God, our Father, in the name of Jesus, we come again before you with thanksgiving and praise in our hearts. Thanking you, God, for another day, another opportunity of life. Thank you for all the things you have provided for us, your protection, Lord, your promises, and Lord, we just say thank you. Lord, realizing that there are many who are suffering and going through at this hour, those who have been in the storm. Father, we're praying for those families, and Lord, we're praying that you will bless according to your will and purpose. Lord, we ask you now that as we have gathered here, we pray that you guide our mind, guide our tongue, that let our action be pleasing and pleasant in thy sight. And at the conclusion, we be careful to render your name all the thanks, the praise, the honor, and the glory. It is in the mighty and immaculate name of your Son, Jesus the Christ, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Excuse me, one correction. Today is October the 14th, 2024, and we do have a quorum. I'm sorry. This is a wonderful crowd. We have with us today Mr. Robert Smith, Dr. Josie Shoemake, Mrs. Talisa Young, Reverend James Richardson, and myself, Dr. Cynthia Brown. Please stand for the pledge. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Moving to item 3, adoption of the agenda, policy BBB, policy BCBD. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Smith and a second by Mr. Reverend Richardson. With an amendment, yes. We will have a transfer of monies to the Hunt Campus Recovery, which will be 5B3. We'll transfer the money market to the district maintenance, money market 3 fund 3028 to the district maintenance fund 3029. And the second item would be the money market fund 3028 to the district fund 1122.
And we're making that 5B, 3A, and B?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
5B. The motion, okay. The motion is by Mr. Smith and the second by Mr. Richardson. Any questions? All in favor? Thank you. Motion passes. Moving to item 4, the school faculty and staff recognition. This will be conducted by Mr. Craig Chapman and Mrs. Shanice Wilson.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming on tonight. And we want to thank everyone for this historical accomplishment that has been made by our district. We're so proud of the work that you've done to make our district a B rating district. So thank you, teachers, principals, students, and our parents, and also our school board for their support. At this time, we're going to start with Joe Cook, recognizing our students with perfect scores. When we call your name, if you'll please come to the front, if you'll face this way, and we're going to do group pictures. You'll get a picture with our school board, our superintendent. At this time, Amar Behair, 4th grade math, perfect score. Genesis Hill, 4th grade math and ELA, perfect score. And Janiyah Jackson, 4th grade math, perfect score. At this time, we are now recognize our perfect scores from Fairview Elementary. Josephine Aliola. Perfect score in third grade ELA. She's not here tonight. Okay, perfect score at Franklin Academy. Kalani Jerrigan, fourth grade ELA and math. Jordan Gallios, fourth grade math, perfect score. Tavares Harris, fourth grade math. And Cameron Rice, fourth grade math, perfect score. Thank you. Saya Elementary, perfect score. Leela Jackson, third grade ELA. Paris McBride, third grade ELA. And Tyler Stanford, third grade math. Thank you. Stokesbury, perfect scores. Anderson Jones, fourth grade ELA. Jakiria Smith, fourth grade ELA. Thank you. Columbus Middle School, perfect scores. Dawson Jones, sixth grade math. Olivia Jones, sixth grade math. Dallas Lawson, seventh grade math. Jordan Mixon, seventh grade math. Malik Baldwin, eighth grade math. Jemiah Bergen, eighth grade math. Markayla Davis, eighth grade math. Laurencia Ham, eighth grade math. Morella Morales, eighth grade ELA and math. Araja Beckham, eighth grade math. Zyla Harris, eighth grade math. Cameron Hill, eighth grade math. Nicholas Howe, eighth grade math. Raston Owens, eighth grade math. Thank you. Columbus High School, perfect scores in Algebra 1, Brian Bolton. Keith Cooper, Algebra 1. Adriana Craddock, Algebra 1. and Kyla Howard, English 10. Thank you. These students received their national certifications in automotive. Ashton Burks, Derek Frierson, Antonio Shelton, and the instructor, Charlie Gardner. Thank you. These students received their certification in carpentry. Cameron Aaron, Aqua Beckham, Byron Brewer, Kaiser Cunningham, Jacayla Elliott, Kadarian Gordon, Morgan Jefferson, Maya Kay, Ernestina Lugo, Javion Mosley, Kirsch Patel, Nathaniel Payne, Lurban Ramirez, Jonathan Ross, Jamilin Sparks. Oh, there we go. Dominique Taylor, Javaris Weston, Jaden Williams, and the instructor is Mr. Shan Humphreys. If you will come forward. Thank you. These students received their certification in collision and repair. Amaya Williams, Cameron Hendricks. And the instructor is going to be Mr. Horace Hughes. Thank you. These students received their Serve Safe in culinary arts. Zamadrills Berry, I apologize if I pronounced that incorrectly. Talasha Butler, Skylar Henry, Quadri Hinton, Tarquavius Huggins, Janaya Turner, and the instructor is going to be Miss Dana Harris. Thank you. These students received their certification in early childhood: Kaya Curry, Natalie Ferrigo, Kelsey Reed, Christina Sanders, Sami Williams, and the instructor is Miss Tashita Smith. We're going to move on to our teachers with the highest proficiency and growth on the 2024 MAP assessment. We're going to start with Cook Elementary, Miss Tamara Harrison, Miss Mitzi Mullins, Miss Tasha Ivy, and Miss Shanada Ward. Thank you. Congratulations, teachers. Fairview Elementary, Miss Brittany Anthony, Tiffany Carr, Kaylee Cummins, Tammy Sykes, Vanessa Williams, Fernanda Wyndham, and Miss Kayla Tucker. Congratulations, teachers. Franklin Academy, Missionary Allen, Amy Lasky, Andrea Miller, and Shanika Ware. Congratulations, teachers. Sale Elementary, Miss Brenda Jones, Jennifer Jarrell, Takia Barnett, Sharon Bartley, and Miss Leanne Hanson. Thank you, teachers. Congratulations. Stokes Beard, Miss Alexa Holman, Jacqueline Thomas, and Miss Regina Wash. Thank you, teachers. Congratulations. Columbus Middle School, Miss Kendra Cochran, Sophia Harmon, Ashley Hill, Erica Jethro, Rachel Johnson, Deanna McGee, Diana Murray, Miss Carolyn Quinn Hopkins, Samantha Randall, Yvette Rice, and Miss Tanya Wilson. Thank you, teachers. Columbus High, Miss Jessica Saucer, Rosalind Miller, Jessica Davis, Alyssa Riley, and Miss Hattie Petty. We had a student to just walk in. We want to make sure we recognize that student. Aniston Jones from Stokesbury Elementary, will you please come forward? Thank you for making it. And Tavares Harris from Franklin Academy, who just got here as well, if you'll come forward. If you have just gotten here and your name has been called, if you will just ease up here, we'll make sure you get your certificate, and if you can come over here and take your picture. If you will see Mr. Chapman right there. We don't want to leave you out. You worked extremely hard. Congratulations, students. Thank you. At this time, we're going to recognize our principals who've led this great work. Cook Elementary, Ms. Tiffany Weddle. Fairview Elementary, Monte Johnson. Franklin Academy, Dr. Melinda Robertson. Sale Elementary, Freda Dismute. Stokes Beard, Dr. Tanisha Jennings. Columbus Middle School, Ms. Kimberly Latham. Columbus High School, Dr. Marlon Andrews. McKellar Technology Center, Mr. James Rush. Thank you, principals. This concludes all of our recognitions. So at this time, if there's anyone that needs to go ahead and leave out, you may do so, and we will resume our normal board meeting.
Find my way. That was just the first 5 pages, wasn't it? Yes. Well, we starting on 6, right? Aren't you on page 6? Okay. Now look, I'm already throwing out the water. I was like, what did I just do? Yeah, page 6. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Which is, I know it. What's this? 2 million. I read this. 2,500,500,000, 532,000. Okay, got it. I'm gonna read those numbers.
Biz? Y'all gonna biz? Yes, sir. Y'all gonna do
I need some water. What time is it? Oh, 5:30. 30 minutes. You know what? I gave it an hour. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
got some, a lot.
Thank you.
Trying to get it in for the day is out. No. This is
We
I put
good.
my own
Thank you.
in it, but it holds a lot, so I use it. Really? Woo.
Are they ready?
I do the alkaline water.
Huh? That wasn't what?
When I was working. Oh, it was this still monthly. That's what I am. And before. Because I fell off the wagon in school and work. I got to get back on it some kind of way.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I was wondering why.
Because it, well, because finance got a text message, and he said,
Got to lay off.
it just got to throw me off a little bit. Yeah, because he had it on the, like,
Yeah,
something
thank you.
different. I said, so is this something different? Got it. I'll do it anyway. Ninth Board Special Call Meeting, September 9th Board Regular Meeting, September 13th Board Special Call Meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Richardson and a second by Mr. Smith. Any questions? All in favor? Motion passes. Moving to item 5. Item 5B, Trustee District Review. Number 1 is the Trustee Travel Report. There was none. And item 2, discussion and consideration of capital improvement plan for the Columbus Municipal School District. Mr. Stephen Little.
Good evening.
Good evening.
You should have all the reports, the September report, the capital improvement report, and athletics on that report. We changed some blinds. We worked on some downspouts. Of course, we did the grounds, cleaning the bleachers. There were some wasp nests under the bleachers, so we got those sprayed. We needed a football field. We had a problem with the lights at the old soccer field, but we got those fixed. We always do at a home game, we go before and after, check all the buildings, make sure everything's still good. We did line some gates up that were off just a little bit. Gotta try to read more right. Retied the tarp straps to the fence by the baseball field. When the windstorm came through, it blew all of them down, so we got all them back up. The conduit on the baseball field goes around the backstop, had fallen down. We tied all that back up. And we had some takedown poles, tieback poles, down by the tennis courts. We took them up where the old gates used to be there. Got that done. Anybody got any questions on anything?
Mr. AD, I don't see Mr. Harris here. Do we have you have an idea, Mr. Harris would have an idea, Mr. Chapman, one blank there. Where are we concerning the extended fence up under the bleachers? What equipment is, like the tractors, the mowers?
The fence has been put up, and I think he told me today they called him and said they were going to put the tarp around it today. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Got tarps on it today.
Okay. Any more questions? Thank you, Mr. Little.
Okay. Y'all have a good evening.
You too. You too. Item 3, discussion of the Hunt Campus Recovery Review of Expenditures and Reimbursement Payments for Projects. Mr. Chapman. Good evening.
Thank you.
Where we are with Hunt. We had our monthly meeting today. The electrical power, the lights have been hung in several areas. The units have been wired. We'll start removing the temporary lighting in the next few days and using the permanent lighting. Um, The rooftops have been installed, the gutters installed. The floors in the classrooms on the first floor have been installed and not, um, they're moving forward to the second level. They've already started on some of the second level, but they're working their way on down and around. Um, The wood has been installed in the gym floor, as you can see. It really looks nice. Um, The stage has been painted. I tried to take a picture of the stage, but they wouldn't let me on the floor, so I was kind of upside down looking at it when I took that picture, but that area has been painted. The classrooms have been painted. HVACs are working but not being used currently because they want to make sure that everything is clean before they start running those and getting dust in them, so, but they are working. The elevator in the classroom building, part of the building, they've started installing that elevator, but by the end of this week, that should be fully installed in that part of the building. The flagpole, so hopefully go up next week. The installing of toilets have already started, and we're happy to report that we have not had any other break-ins or attempts since last reported, which was this summer, and that's, thanks to Columbus Light and Water for installing the extra lights, and City Council for supporting us with that, and Columbus Police Department and S&E Security, and as well as Chief Brown and her team. Still expected date is still late November. Still, there's a lot of work to go, but still expected to finish by the end of November, early December. Um, and as you can see with some of the images, I tried to get them as best as I could. There's still, like I said, a lot of cleaning and walking and working in that area, but the storefront entrance that's on the north side, I think I have my directions right. The bathroom, you can see there's the floor installed in the bathroom. The front office area, a lot of the flooring is covered, but I was able to take a picture of this flooring as well as some of the paint in the main office, in the classrooms, as well as the cafeteria and some of those areas. And you can also see where they're preparing to put that drop ceiling in the annex part of the building, as well as you can, with the museum, I also took some images of that. So, any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Have, have all the ceilings been completed in the, main building?
When you say completed, you mean painted or?
Okay, so the ceiling's gonna stay open,
Right.
similar to what we have here.
Mhm.
Okay, so have the classrooms on the, main hall, have all of them been painted?
Yes, there's a painting. As of today, the painting has been completed. It's what we shared at the meeting, that all the painting had been completed.
So all the HVAC been completed in all the rooms also?
Yes, sir, they've been installed. They're still actually working on some more, but for the rooftop RTUs, the rooftop units have been installed, and those HVACs, I thought, yeah, on that back part of it have been installed.
And you mentioned about the elevator that's located there by where the stairway was?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so is it working where you can go from there?
Not right now. Not right.
Okay.
Just by the end of this week, it should be working. They were actually wiring some of the pieces when I was over there today looking at it. They were doing some of the wiring, but he said by the end of this week, it should be working in that building.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have a question about the annex, not the annex, I'm sorry, the museum.
Yes.
Are y'all in contact with the folks that are gonna be reestablishing the museum once we get open? How is that being coordinated?
When I met with them earlier, I think it was part of the the summer, the early part. It was, what I share with them is once we receive information of when they're able to move in, or when they're completed, they'll be notified so they can start working, with moving in as well. Now, they did have a chance to go in and look at some areas that they wanted to kind of see if they can sort of expand, with it. I know they talked with Taylor about just some more space and clause. They were able to meet with him, and, he was working on trying to make sure that they were able to do that. I want to say they had a small closet area in the back part of it, but they were asking for a little more space to see what could be done to help them with that. So, I think right now it has been clean, and with the bathroom space that they've asked for, that area was, I think, widened a little bit for them. And so when we initially had the meeting with them, that's pretty much they've tried to support them with what they needed. But once we get the okay of everything that we can do, then they'll definitely be notified. And I told them they'll be able to move in at the same time we are.
Thank you.
Ms. Young?
I had a couple of questions. Mr. Chapman, at this point, what percentage of the completion would you say have been done at this point?
Ooh. That's a great question. I would probably say about 75 to 80%. It's still, like I said, a lot that I think has to be done before that time, based on just what I'm looking at.
And what color is this the completed color that we're looking at?
It is.
Is it gray, or what color is this?
They went back with maroon and gray, which were the colors: the maroon, gray, and some of the white.
That's the hunt.
Back
Uh-huh.
to the original school.
I think we did talk.
And it
yes,
was
we
been
did.
done like back to the original, kind of like to the
Right.
original school colors, original hot colors.
I believe we did. Yeah. We talked about that.
Mhm.
We talked about it,
Yeah.
but did we ever vote on it?
We never talked.
The committee came up with that color, didn't it, that group? When we
Right.
went to them out for that, what's it, maroon?
Yes, sir. The maroon and
Yeah,
gray and white.
maroon,
Yes, sir.
gray, or whatever,
Mhm.
yeah. They had the original color.
Right.
Is that the question?
No, we know it's the original color. It was just who approved it.
When did we?
It was never
What?
completed.
I mean, why do we need to approve it?
Well, I was just thinking it goes.
I thought it was saying.
We
just
pay
goes,
for
you
it.
know,
We
it's
typically
contrary to the
we're
rest
not
of the
sitting down and talking about things like university
But
I never known to approve the color.
I thought it was.
As long as it was, I thought it was left up to that committee as far as the color. But as far as the board approving of color, I didn't know we had to approve the color.
I think when we had when we got the committee together, the reason for the committee was to get the buy-in of the committee. So
Right.
they wanted it to look,
Original.
similar to what it was, the original state of the building. So
Yeah, that was one of the questions that came up when we were doing it,
Campaigning.
walking around with the campaign with the bond, about the color of that building. That's when we initially went.
Because I know for a fact Ms. Laverne Leach,
Right.
she led the charge concerning, along with,
Yes,
Scott
sir.
Johnson was there. And because I think the color that we had looked at, and they said that wasn't the original color
Mhm.
when we met.
Right.
And they showed us the original color, and it was left up to that group to, as far as the color. Nothing where a board had to
No,
approve.
I wasn't on the committee, so
Okay,
I
well.
wasn't know.
And one of those
Board
visits
didn't
we
have to
went
approve
on,
it.
they did showed us that they did the original woodwork in certain parts of it too, because that's what agreed with, right?
Any more questions?
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chapman. Okay. The additional items added in under 3A, number 1, is the request to transfer of $2,532,406.20 from the Money Market Fund 3028 to District Maintenance Fund 3029. Is there a motion? I'll make the second. So we have a motion from Dr. Shoemaker and a second from myself, Dr. Brown. Are there any questions? All in favor? And item 2 is the request to transfer $2,686.86 interest from Money Market Fund 3028 to the District Maintenance Fund 1122. Is there a motion?
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Smith and a second by Mr. Richardson. Any questions? All in favor? Thank you. Moving to item 4, contract renewal updates. Those are for your review. Are there any questions about those? No questions? Item 5 is the review of the 2024-25 CMSD Board Annual Calendar for approval during the November 11th, 2024 board meeting. So if you will, just take a look at that, and if there are any changes, please contact Ms. Woodard so we can get those on there, and she'll send it out to the group. Item 6, consideration and/or discussion to approve recommendations for Cook Elementary School projects. Is there a motion?
Dr. Brown, are you taking all 3 of them together? Got A, B, and C, or 3 items?
Number 6, 7,
I meant 6, and it's got 3 different under,
A, B, and C? Or you can
Yes.
list it as A, B, and C?
yeah.
A, B, and C, yes.
Yeah.
6A, B, and C. Who was the
I'll make the
motion? Okay.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Smith and a second by Mr. Richardson. Any questions? All in favor? Number 7 is a consideration and/or discussion to approve recommendations for Stokes Beard Elementary School HVAC project. HVAC project. Okay, I'm looking for my, hold on just a minute.
Topographical survey.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get my agendas together here. I'm looking at one and I need to look at another one. Okay, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Young and a second by Mr. Smith. Any questions? All in favor? Moving to item 8. Item 8 is the consideration and/or discussion to approve recommendations for Stokes Beard Elementary School HVAC project. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Richardson and a second by Ms. Young. Any questions? All in favor? Item 9, consideration and/or discussion to approve recommendations for Sale Elementary School projects. Is there a question?
So you have A, B, and C on it?
A, B, and C also. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Young and a second by Mr. Smith. All in favor? And number 10, consideration and/or discussion to approve the recommendations for the Columbus High School project. Is that an A, B, and C?
Yeah.
A, B, and C.
So move A, B, and C.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Smith and a second by Mr. Richardson. Any questions? All in favor? Item 5C, goals updates. Policy BA. Number 1 is the student attendance report, goal 1. School safety report, goal 4. With A is the student discipline. Number 3 is the dropout report, goal 1. Number 4 is the school safety report and the number of accidents in schools, goal 4. Are there any questions about those? Okay. Moving to item 5, superintendent updates and reports. Number A is the Columbus Municipal School District. Dr. Stanley Ellis, superintendent.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm going to talk with you guys a little bit about what we've been waiting on for a long time. I know you guys already know now, but I can officially say it publicly. So we'll look at our data from last year and compare it to this year. Of course, this is our mission. The mission of the Columbus Municipal School District will provide students with the skills necessary to be college, workforce, and enlistment ready by building bridges amongst parents, the community, and all district employees. Our vision is student-centered, excellence-driven. Here listed, I'm not going to read through all of those. This is our strategic plan. It's broken down into DRIVE, which deals with developing data, recruitment, innovated, value physical prudence, and establish a safe environment. This is the information that you guys typically get each month. This is just a breakdown for September for 2024 in regards to the enrollment from one month to the next. If you look, I'm just going to look at the high school. If you look at the prior month, they had 869 students. Now they have 871 students, and it's the same for all of the schools. So right now we have about a little bit over 3,000 students in the district. As far at the end of September, 3,026 students. All right, this is a comparison report that you always get each month. It's very familiar to you guys. This goes from the high school all the way to Stokes Beard, kind of talks about the enrollment from 23-24 and 24-25, gives you an idea of where we are in regards to enrollment. It looks at the attendance at this same time from last year, and it gives you the discipline as well. And then it gives you the total number at the bottom in regards to student count, days absent, and incident counts. Here, I had her to do different colors. I'm a colors person, so she's got the teacher and student attendance. On one side, the gold is the teacher attendance, and the purple is the student attendance. And so it gives comparisons. Of course, Columbus High School is still the first one. It looks at teacher attendance. Each month we talk about student and teacher attendance when we talk about the leading and lagging indicators. Students don't have a teacher there to teach them, then they're not going to be getting quality instructions. Same thing with students. If students are not in school, then they're not in the seat. They're missing quality instructions. All this interferes with academic achievement. So this is very important, and we try to keep our eye on this. It breaks it down from sick leave to personal leave, and it gives you the total absences for each school. And the same is regarding the ADA for the schools. If you look at the school with the least ADA, it's the high school, so that's a struggle for us, and we're working to improve that at the high school. Okay. These are the accountability scores, and what you'll see here on each slide, you'll see the accountability for 2023, and then you also see a slide where it says total points for 2024. So if you look at Cook Elementary School, it gives you the points they had in 2023, and it lets you know where they are now. It also gives you the lowest performance. It also provides you with the lowest performing students in regards to growth and proficiency, but more especially, it gives you a real eye-to-eye view of bird's eye view, so to speak, of where we were last year and where we are now. So if you look at, just for an example, if you look at the Cook Elementary, you look at 2023, if you look at the lowest performing students in reading from 2023 to 2024, you may not see a lot of difference, but when you look at math, you can see a lot of growth there. So our kids tend to do well in mathematics, and so I always tell the principals when we have our data meetings that we need to play to our strength. We work on our weaknesses, but we need to realize where our strengths are when it comes down to getting the points on accountability. but this school made some incredible gains at Cook. If you look at Fairview Elementary, of course, when you look at Fairview, I looked at the data before I arrived here. Over the past couple of years, Fairview has been steadily moving toward the A where they are now. So clearly they have some sustainability there. So if you look where they were last year, they were a C. Now they're 465 points, and that's a solid A, any way you look at it. If you look at the lowest performing students, they knocked it out the box. So they did very, very well. Franklin Elementary, of course, Franklin was a B 2023. We had a lot of administrative changes over there on last year, but the school did come out at a C. We're not really just happy with the C. We're going to start working towards getting back where we were and beyond. So this gives you the accountability for Franklin Elementary. Based on the preliminary data that we're looking at with Franklin, it's moving in the right direction, and I can easily see them moving back to where they were before. Sale Elementary, of course, it was a B in 2023, and it's a B this year, but you can look at those points and you can see that Sale has increased. They're moving in the right direction. Seems like they're moving in the same direction this year as well. If you look at the lowest performing students from 23 and you look at the growth from 24, where they were in 24, you can see some differences there. Of course, if you look at mathematics, you see where they are in math. So, our kids do well in math. Stokes Beard, of course, Stokes Beard was a C in 2023. It's now a B, which is 418. Last year they had 367 points. On accountability this year, they got 418 points, which is equivalent to a B. So if you look at where they were last year, when you start looking at the lowest performing students and you do those comparisons, of course, there's mathematics again. When you compare those numbers, stark difference. All right, Columbus Middle School. Columbus Middle School is a school that had been an F for the past several years. And so we've worked diligently over there by making sure that we put some things in place to change the narrative for Columbus Middle School. Columbus Middle School in 2023 was an F, which was a 242. Now Columbus Middle School is a D, which is a 324, and they're probably 7 or 8 points away from a C. We still have a lot of work to do. We're not resting on our laurels because we got a D. That's still not where we want to be, and so we still have a lot of work to do at Columbus Middle School. But if you look at the lowest performing students and you look particularly at mathematics, you can see the difference in mathematics. All right, Columbus High School. Columbus High School last year was a 647, which was a C in 2023. This year they are 615. So we can account for what happened at that school. He had some bank scores from the years prior, and the graduation rate, some things were not calculated before my time, before many of the people that are working on my administrative team, and those things just kind of caught up with us. And so we feel confident and know that that graduation rate is going to increase. All right, this is just a breakdown of every school in regards to points with the Mississippi Accountability, just kind of letting you know where they are, the points and the grade for each school. So that's it. You guys, we have done some good work last year. We're looking forward to continuing to do this work. I'll be sending something out to you guys tomorrow. I'm going to meet with the principals and the administrative team in the morning. We're going to kind of fine-tune the agenda and the layout for the celebration that we have on Thursday. So once I meet with them in the morning after board meetings, we always meet as an entire team with the principals and the leadership team. I will have something to you guys tomorrow. Once I send that, if you have any questions, it's going to be broken down to where we meet, that type of thing. So just be patient with us, but I'll have that to you guys on tomorrow. Is there anything else any questions anybody has for me? Anything you need to ask me? Yes, ma'am.
I'm a little, yes, my question's about teacher attendance.
Right.
I'm not sure I'm reading this chart right, and I can ask this off, as a sidebar, but it seems very high to me. sick leave that was over, I mean, that percentage is really.
I mean, it's a little high. We've been
Well,
having
I
some
would
teachers
say
that are
yes.
out, so,
It's not
we
kosher,
gotta,
'cause
we gotta
those
do a better
numbers
job
are-
of making sure that our people come to work, so.
Yeah, and the other thing that's, could you explain a little bit more detail, what is unpaid other as far as absences go? What does that consist of? Because that's twice the size of, sick, I mean, that's sick leave and personal business, which are the ones I'm familiar with.
I would have to check on that. I can follow up with you on that to
Okay.
let you know exactly.
Since that's
I know it's a
larger than the
combination of
other
a couple
two
things, but I don't
areas.
wanna tell you, I may exclude something, so I can find
Okay,
out.
sure, and I mean, I'm just curious, because there's a trend in that,
No,
so
it
it
can't
sort of
be.
worries me.
What'd you say?
So the numbers, could it be that their numbers are wrong?
Wrong.
That
That-
98%,
And
I mean,
97%, that can't be right. But you gotta, the
see-
teacher absent goes going down 97, 100. That can't be
I mean,
right.
that just
I'll,
gets
I'll
to
find
the-
out. It may be a
Yeah, I
cumulative
think it's,
deal that they're
Well, this
adding,
says
how
that
they're,
this says for September of 2024, so I'm assuming it's for
but
this
that way you
month.
have a 97% teacher.
I'll check to find out.
Okay, I'm just asking, because it looks strange.
Okay. I get this report from Michelle, and she gets it out of
Teacher
Power Schools. I know they've been having some issues with it, but I will follow up with her to find out exactly what's going on with that. But,
Okay,
okay.
super, thank you so much.
Uh-huh. Yes, sir.
So, Doc,
Yes, sir.
this look good, you know, we all are proud that the district is a B.
Yes, sir.
So my question would be to you, especially in your subordinates.
Okay.
So what have you all done to make sure that the district stay at a B or even improve to A, and the schools that are C, are the ones that are D, that they continue to progress, and that the administrators hold that staff accountable?
Yes, sir.
So what type of assessment are you all using to make sure that they're on target as to where they are supposed to be? And do you all check it, monthly, bi-weekly, a quarter, a semester? How do you all go about from assessment standpoint?
Okay, good question. We use ELS, but as recent as last week, that we were on fall break, and the principals came in, and they had to, each principal came in, some people brought their entire leadership team, some of them brought, teachers, and so some of them came in, and when they came in, they were able to speak to the data. We did comparisons, looking at where they were last year. We looked at the strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities and threats that they had in their buildings this year. I sent an email out to all the principals and all the people that are on my administrative team, and just kind of reminding them that, we were on fall break. I realized that, and, we had intercession and those types of things, but after the break is over, then we're gonna be really sitting down with them, kind of drilling down to make some administrative decisions that need to be made in some of the buildings. I've spoken with the CFO about possibly shifting some people around to give some buildings more support that wouldn't really cost the district a astronomical amount of money, because we already have the people here that are in the district working. So we're keeping a laser-like focus on that. We're focusing on the 4.5, which is the midpoint for the 9 weeks. We're going to be looking at the test in some of the buildings, making sure that the tests are aligned to the pacing guides. Those are some conversations that we had last week with the leadership team and with some of the principals, because some of the things that I saw last week, I was a little bit concerned about. And so we're going to make sure that we keep the focus on teaching and learning and inspect what we expect.
So we have a lot of consultants in this district, right?
Yes, sir.
So who are making sure the consultants are doing exactly what they supposed to be doing within the district?
Okay, all the consultants provide us with before they're paid, they have to provide us with an invoice and a work report. And so once we get that work report, they meet with the principals, and it ultimately comes to the Office of Curriculum in regards to the work that's being done. So that office kind of monitors what's taking place with the consultants in regards to the work that's being done. And sometimes the consultants even come and they'll meet with the administrative team. There have been some times they've come, but I wasn't available to speak with them. So we're making sure that, you know, we're gonna hold them accountable. Even when we look at where we are this year from last year, we can see that the work that was being done in some of those buildings was meaningful work, you know, as far as helping to bolster us and build build the capacity of the teachers that we have. Some of our issues is that we lose teachers sometimes, and then when you lose a teacher, then you got to start over again and build capacity in a new person when you lose a teacher.
So the Office of Curriculum is responsible for making sure all the consultants do what's expected of them.
They vet the contracts and everything before they have to vet the contracts to make sure the scope of work is what we're asking for. And so this year, we haven't really come to you guys with a lot of consultants yet, but we probably will in the next month or so, because we're gonna be ramping up, really looking at, we got our first 9 weeks data now. We kind of know where our pain spots are, and we're gonna be making sure that we're able to hone in on those pain spots to try to sustain the momentum that we have in the district now. And so we're gonna be good stewards of the district's monies, but we're gonna really have to start looking at that over the next week or so. So
And ask for more consultants.
it's possible. It's a possibility. But I'll make sure that you guys understand that the money is gonna be well spent. Last year, we had a lot of consultants on the front end because we had a lot of ESSER money that we were trying to spend, but that money is depleted
Paid now.
right now, so we've got to get back to business as usual. So typically with me, when I worked in other places, I don't front-end load with a lot of consultants immediately in the first semester. I would do some when areas where it's needed, but I try to save that for mostly the second semester, so that you can really start to hone in on the things that you need to hone in on with the teachers and the students, so that you get that boost that you need to kind of get you over the finish line when the kids are about to test in the spring.
Any more questions? Thank you, Dr. Ellis.
Okay, thank you so much.
Moving to item B, Information Systems Update, Ms. Danielle McGee, Director.
Good afternoon. I won't take the time to go over the mission because we all know our mission is overall to make sure that we're student-centered and excellence-driven. As I stated, the year prior, we're a small team, we're a small agile team, but we're trying to be as productive as possible. We've integrated a new work order system that we're trying to get everyone accustomed to using so that we have a better layout of keeping up with a lot of the work orders and things that we're helping folks with throughout the district. Our team, we serve several sites throughout the district, several thousand students, a little over 3,000 students, several hundred staff members, including teachers and support staff, and we have a total of about 10,000 student contacts that are in our student information systems. Now, one thing I go over with the IT team is that with our team, even though we're in the role of support, our main goal is to serve as customer service, making sure that we're supporting our staff, our teachers, and overall our students in getting what they need. And sometimes that can look uncomfortable, sometimes that can be difficult, sometimes that can be problematic. Some things that we're working to integrate with the IT team is a tool called Level Data. I know with school districts, their overall goal is to make sure that education is at the forefront. But if you look at a school setting, it's almost like a business, so it's overall making sure that the data is correct. So we've just purchased a tool called Level Data to make sure that the data is validated before it goes to the Department of Education. With this, we're able to make sure that the information that we send to Jackson is correct. Ms. Carter, she has a lot of people that are working with her, So what this does is it allows her to work with her teams to make sure that the data is put into our systems correctly. With this, it affects a lot of things like our funding and different things like that. So that's one reason I wanted to make sure that we were able to validate a lot of the data that we were sending to MDE before the end of the month. Securely is used for several different things, such as content filtering, but what we're using this tool for is for the nurses pass and for behavioral, hopefully to streamline some behavioral issues. So we'll know when students are out in the hallways and different things like that. It's more so of a digital pass that the students will be able to use. We're still finalizing some of our cabling projects. We were finishing up some of the schools as far as running the cabling and wiring at the schools. Hopefully, the staff and the students have noticed some faster speeds in the internet speeds at the schools. With Hunt, we're actually meeting over there tomorrow to have one of the contractors look at the intercom systems that we're going to place in there. Now, with the construction plan, it covered a lot of the rough ends, but we're going to have to go in and put in a lot of the equipment as far as the switches, the access points, and different things like that. Another small project that we're working on with our badge vendor, Badge Pass, is access to electronic IDs that they'll be able to download via the apps. That way, either the staff or the students will be able to download that app and have their school ID or their staff ID accessible through that app. And if you have any students that are in our Power School SIS, you'll notice that some of them, if they took pictures last year, we've started importing those pictures into Power School so that our staff members are able to recognize our students. Say, for instance, you're going on a field trip and you have someone helping chaperone, you can print out photo directories of your class, and then that way you have a list of all of your students, their names, their grade levels, and different things like that, or if they have different allergies, that information will be listed there as well. We've also set this up so that years after this, when we do the export, prior to them setting up for a photographer to come in, we send them an export file, and that photographer, he goes by that export file so that when they finish taking the pictures, we can easily import that information in. So years after this, we should constantly see updated photos of our students. With E-rate planning, we're constantly working on that. With our district, we're an 85% district, meaning that 85% of our funding is covered by E-rate as far as telecommunication fees, as far as our internet service and some of our cybersecurity fees. I am working on looking up different grants that we can possibly apply for with our district and considering our demographics and different things like that that we may be eligible for. ClassLink, this is, currently we use Clever as our SSO for our students. If you remember last year, I was telling you about how our students were logging into several different sites rather than logging into one site. We've migrated over to using Clever to where they log into that one site and all of their tools are accessible there. But we're planning on moving towards ClassLink only because it provides a lot of the analytics that the curriculum team is going to need as far as showing how the usage for these ed tech platforms are beneficial as far as the purchases and different things like that. Now, Clever doesn't really show that. It shows the analytics as far as how many times the students log in and different things like that, but it doesn't show you the value as in, hey, you all spent this much for this tool and the students are using this tool and it's showing this growth. ClassLink is going to show you that information. So we're hoping to start that with the next academic school year because I don't want to start them using something in the middle of the school year. Some goals that we initially had that I'm hoping that we can finish out this year is to upgrade the high school gym AV system as far as getting them a projector in there. They already have a sound system, but I would like to get a projector mounted to where when we have larger functions and different things like that, we can use that without having to roll out a projector in the middle of the gym floor. We also want to update some of the sound system in the auditorium. They currently have a sound system, but we want to upgrade some of the wiring and rewire some things in there. And also place a projector in there as well. Our day-to-day operations, we work on work orders, call-in work orders. We're trying to get everyone used to submitting their work orders through our work order system so that we have a track record of priority and different things like that. And that concludes our presentation. Any questions? All right.
No
Have a good
questions?
night.
Thank you. Moving to item 6, open forum, policy BCBD. We do have Chief Joseph Daltrey, Columbus Police Department, collaboration. Chief Daltrey?
Madam Chairman,
Mhm.
if I may, while Chief Daughtry is on his way up here to the podium, and he could present himself quite well. There was some concerns from some of the board members, and we had talked about it, concerning safety at our ball games, and also we want to, Dr. Ellis and I met with Chief Daughtry and his assistant to find out from a partnership standpoint, what could the Columbus Municipal School District come up with if we had to do a memorandum of understanding between the city attorney and our attorney, to where I think we need a partnership. Like, for an example, with the county, I'm quite sure you're familiar with the county. Most of the SSOs or SROs, what they have in the county, are through the sheriff department. So what we are, what I'm hoping here with the board, after Chief finished with his presentation, is that I'm not saying for the police department to be in charge of the SSOs, SROs. I would hope that from a board standpoint, that we can create a partnership. In other words, when I say a partnership, is to where I know at one time, the officers from the Columbus Police Department, the ones that whatever precinct that they were working, a ward that they were working in, area that they were working in, close to that school, that they would walk through the halls that time and just show their presence at football games. And for the members that have been on the board for some time, the school district had a partnership to where, I guess you call it a partnership or whatever, anyway, to where it would be X amount of officers at ball games, especially like at football games and basketball games, even for us with escorts. And just me, from my standpoint, is that you can't put a price on safety when it comes to our kids. If it's a shooting, for an example, like at the high school, and talking to Chief Daughtry, is that if they told them that it's the West Wing, well, these guys don't know what the West Wing is. They don't know what the East Wing is, or no wing. So is that if we had that partnership to where they could get with our chief, or that collaboration and working together in communication, to where the police department, whether it's at the elementary school, either elementary school, middle school, or high school, if there was a emergency or a shooting, and if they said it was at the east wing or the south wing, that they would know, and they would know where to send their people to. Also, we discussed about the radios, is that we not on the same frequency they are. If it's an emergency at either one of the schools, they have to call 911, but the chief explained to where he didn't want us on that same frequency, is that maybe that we could look into getting some type of grant to where that we could get some radios that equal to what they have there, to where, you know, they could be on another frequency where they could call directly to the police department rather than going through 911. So those were some of the things that we had to discuss when Dr. Ellis and I met with Chief and his subordinate assistant. So, Doc, you want to add anything to what I said?
No, I think he covered everything.
Okay.
I'm I really want to make sure that we have a more presence of officers in the schools, though. I mean, just coming in, just walking through the schools sometimes. I know where I came from. Sometimes I just tell the guys, hey, if you got your dogs, just, you don't have to go all through the school. Just let somebody see it, you know, that type of thing. So, but yeah, I think he covered everything. I'm gonna let you talk now, Chief Doctor.
Well, first of all, good evening to Superintendent and to the board. And let me again, from the Columbus Police Department, congratulate the school district on a B rating. It's something that we're not taking lightly. We're very proud of our kids. That's why we want to make sure that this parade on Thursday is going to be a very, very enlightening and also exciting experience for our kids. I just wanted to clear the air. Apparently, when I'm sorry, I still call him Mayor Smith. It's just habit. Came to me and the superintendent. I think there was some in the air that maybe some board members felt that we didn't want to work with the school district. And I just want to clear that out. That's never been the case. We do want to work with the school district. We don't have a problem. Our children are in that district. And when I say our children, the children that are in the city of Columbus. We're committed to assisting Chief Brown and her staff in whatever is needed. One thing that we are offering, we do have in-service training. Her officers are welcome to come to our in-service training. When we do firearms qualifications, her staff is invited to come to our firearms qualifications. We're not going to close the door on our school district. So I'm not sure where that came from. I do believe that at some point that we might have had some kind of unreadiness, thinking that the chief was trying to take over the school district. I don't want that job. I have enough on my plate. I do have the experience that I can help Chief Brown because I used to be a school resource officer instructor for the Mississippi Department of Education. So I went around the state and taught officers how to be SROs. I did that for almost 5 years when I was with the city of Jackson. But I know that she attends a lot of the conferences. I know that she's very well, especially with her background with the Columbus Police Department. So I know she has a great foundation. But I want this board to know that myself, also with my department, we are behind the Columbus Municipal School District. And we're going to do what it can to support and make sure that our kids are not only safe, but they have a good, safe environment as well. Sometimes things happen at night, and we need to let Chief Brown know or let the principals know because it'll bleed over into the school the next morning. If kids are beefing on social media and we have some type of shots fired or whatever, we need to let the school know so that in the next morning they could be prepared. Because statistics show that when kids come to school, the time between getting off the bus to about 11 o'clock is that hot time. So if we can calm them down and show a good, strong presence, then majority of the time, the rest of the day will be over with. When Mayor Smith contacted me, Assistant Chief Garland Ward, who's in the back, made it a directive that whichever officer is working a school, whatever beat, and has a school in it, that throughout the day they are to walk through that school at least 3 times a day. So we need to make sure that that's being done. And where we're going to make sure it's being done is myself and my other assistant chief, Assistant Dorian Johnson, well, along with Chief Ward, are going to get out and we're going to go to the school and go ask the principal, have you seen the officer? And if they haven't seen him, then I'll deal with that. But we have directed that our officers go through the school at least 3 times a day, just do a walkthrough. When I was SRO, I used to love to go to school. I love catfish day and I love fried chicken day. And back in the day, they used to make, I'm telling my age now, but they used to make this thing called shepherd's pie. I used to love it. But I tell the guys, when you go in there, you get to know your staff, get to know your custodians, because if something was to happen, that's going to be our way of getting around. Now, what Mayor Smith was talking about as far as us not knowing the school, we have a lot of officers that are not from Columbus. So what we're going to do with our SWAT team is at your next break, we're going to get with Chief Brown and go through all the schools, do walkthroughs just to make sure that we all know which way to come in, which way to go out, and also probably get with, and maybe we can get some layouts from Chief Brown of the school district. Because we already have some for our city buildings on our SWAT truck. So if we were to respond, we knew which way to go in, which way we're going.
Thank you, Chief Daughtry.
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys coming out to the games, showing a presence, so that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
You just said something about the layout and schematics of the buildings. We have crisis management plans for all buildings, so that could be something that could be shared with you guys as well. So,
And the other thing is about the radio. I have talked with Homeland Security. Again, I spoke with them once with Dr. Ellis and Chief Brown, and they were supposed to be giving us some radios that they had left over. I don't know what happened with that, with all the storm relief. They start sending stuff around, but he is the assistant director of Homeland is going to be looking for some radios. But if not, I will be getting with Dr. Ellis about trying to get radios for you guys. Now, one of the reasons we do have what they call a common law channel, and I got that channel so that everybody in the Golden Triangle can have it, so that in case something was to happen, we don't have to worry about what channel to go to or this, that, or the other. We could just switch to that channel. Because if something happened at a school, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna tell you right now, everybody that has a badge and a gun is coming. And it's gonna be chaotic because everybody's coming to help, but if we can't communicate, it will be a problem. So I wanna give that channel, we're giving it to the sheriff's office, we're giving it to Tippecanoe County, Starkville, West Point, Clay, everybody, so that everybody have this channel. But the school district is welcome to it as well. But the only problem right now, the school district does not have Miss Win radios. So that's something that we need to work on, getting the school district some Miss Win radios.
As far as from a partnership or memorandum of understanding between the Columbus Police Department and the Columbus School District, do we need to start any type of partnership or anything of that nature?
No, sir, they're,
An agreement, it's just, as long as we're willing, that's the board.
absolutely,
Police Department willing to work with us.
they're part of,
Good.
school district campuses are part of the city, and they can do what they need to do.
And that's the same thing Jeff Turnage.
Jeff
He,
said.
he he and I talked about it too, Mr. Smith, and we talked about that as well. But he said he was gonna seek you and,
I'm not talking to Jeff, but I will.
okay,
Jeff and I talked about it.
okay.
So last, Chief, before you leave, I know you all been volunteering and sending escorts like, to Louisville and some other places when the football team went out of town, like they used to in the past.
Mhm.
I think the team going to Show Central this week, is that correct? So, from the escort standpoint, does the district need to reimburse you all for that also, or how you gonna, I mean?
Let's do this. Let's get through this season, and then we'll look at it next year for the future. Because I know there's a lot of things that have to go into place. So let's just get through this season, and then after this season, we can come to the table, and I can get attorney Turnage and you to work something out for the reimbursement for the team.
But right now, as far as that out-of-town game,
Mhm.
the department is.
I got you.
Assist us.
Yes, sir.
Same way at home football game.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
Chief Daughtry, we
Ma'am.
truly appreciate you and your staff for your services and support.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving to item 7, Office of the Superintendent, Dr. Stanley K. Ellis, School Operations. Any travel, Dr. Ellis?
Yes, ma'am. I had the opportunity to travel to San Antonio in September for National Superintendents Forum. This forum had superintendents from all over the United States. We were afforded the opportunity to work in small groups and report out to the teams. Basically, at that meeting, no matter the size of the district, no matter the population or the economical status of the students that they served in the district, what I found is that many of us have the same common issues. So it was an opportunity for me to network and widen my circle to provide a better leadership here in the Columbus Municipal School District. They also had vendors there. Ms. McGee just spoke about the class link, and I met with them when I was there. They had a really strict schedule for you. You had somewhere to go every few minutes. So I've never gone to a meeting like that, but it's real good. I mean, it keeps you on pace. There were 4 other superintendents from Mississippi there. So I knew some of them I didn't know. I got a chance to know them, but they have some of the same issues that we have, and they're from districts that, so people call the good districts, so to speak, you know, those places in Mississippi. And we have a good district here as well. But back to the class link, that's gonna be a vital part of providing the data that the board has asked us about, the usage reports. It does the correlated reports and everything. I was able to sit with the representative, and she pretty much laid it out, and I said, that's what we've been looking for. And so that's gonna allow us to do that. So it was a good meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Item B, Superintendent's recommendations. Number 1 is the consideration and/or discussion to approve additional ISD interventionist positions submitted by the Office of Business. Is there a motion?
So moved.
I'll make the second. We have a motion by Dr. Shoemake and a second by myself, Dr. Brown. Are there any questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I read the documentation concerning this. But have we had a person for this position before, Doc?
We have an ISD person, that's at Cook, isn't it? She had one last year? Okay. Okay, she's not able to afford it, I remember now. That's at Cook with Ms. Weddle, and she's been having a lot of, she's having to send kids home when she has issues with them, and we want to try to keep them in school as much as possible. That's gonna give her another option rather than, you know, suspending the kid.
So this funded through the district now then,
Yes, sir, it will be.
and it was included?
And it'll be a paraprofessional, it won't be a licensed position anyway.
So it was included in the budget?
This was not included in the budget, it was not. But I did speak with the CFO to talk with her about, you know, the possibility of doing this, but it was not included in our original budget, because it was coming from title monies, so now it's coming from district maintenance.
And what's the salary on the position?
I don't remember off the top of my head. 18,000, yeah.
This person won't be just in that babysitting, you said interventionist, so will they actually be doing?
Yeah, they're gonna be working.
I mean, I know a lot of ISD room where they just put kids in
Warehousing,
there, and the
yeah.
person sat at the desk and watch them till the end of the day, and then they send them on to the crib.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. With some of the things I told you guys about earlier, when I told you that we're gonna, after we looked at this data, we're gonna be making some tweaks to utilize some of the people that we have in the district to go into some of these buildings. With what we're planning on doing with some staff that we have, I'm gonna have somebody there to marshal that and direct that very directive.
Well, ISD supposed to make sure that they do their assignments,
Right,
as if they was in the regular classroom, right?
that's correct.
And do they still turn them into each individual teacher the next day?
We'll make sure that happens.
Any more questions about that? All in favor? Thank you. Motion passes. Number 2 is the consideration and/or discussion to approve staff personnel items submitted by the Office of Human Resources. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Smith and a second by Mr. Richardson. Any questions? All in favor? Thank you. Motion passed. Number 3, consideration and/or discussion to approve administrative recommendations submitted by the Office of Human Resources. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Young and a second by Mr. Richardson. Any questions? All in favor? Motion passes. Item 8, Office of Business Management, Columbus Municipal School District Business Administrator, discussion of the following items. A, consideration to approve monthly financial reports, policy DI. Number 1, fund balance report. Number 2, cash balance report. Number 3, budget status report. Number 4, monthly revenue budget report. Number 5, monthly expenditure budget report. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Smith and a second by Ms. Young. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes. Moving to item 6, certification and summary of reconciled bank statements, policy DI. Is there a motion? I'll make the motion.
Second.
We have a motion by myself, Dr. Brown, and a second by Mr. Smith. Any discussion? All in favor? Number 7, budget amendments. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Young and a second by Mr. Smith. Any questions? All in favor? Number 8, fixed asset disposals. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Young and a second by Mr. Smith. Any discussion? Questions? All in favor? Motion passes. Number 9, consideration and/or discussion to approve amended, combined, and combining fiscal year 2024 budget. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Smith and a second by Mr. Richardson. Any questions? All in favor? Claims docket. Number A, paid accounts payable claims for board ratification. Is there a motion?
So moved.
I'll make the second. We have a motion by Mr. Smith and a second by myself, Dr. Brown. Any discussion? All in favor? Mr. Smith will recuse. Number B. Okay. Number B is the held accounts payable claims to Columbus Light and Water Department. Is there a motion?
So moved.
I'll make the second. We have a motion by Mr. Richardson and a second by myself, Dr. Brown. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes. Item C, regular accounts payable claims docket. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Dr. Shoemaker and a second by Mr. Smith. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes. 8B is for your information, the Chief Financial Officer updates. It includes, number 1, the monthly ad valorem tax collection analysis report, policy DI. Number 2, CMSD fund balance trends. Number 3, bank cash balance yearly comparison. Number 4, student event activity report. Number 5, federal programs and IDEA monthly financial review. Are there any questions about those? Moving to item 9, consent agenda, policy BCBL. There are 11 items for consideration and/or discussion to approve agreements, contracts, memorandums of understanding, out-of-state travel, field trips, and student transfers. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Young and a second by Mr. Smith. Any discussion? Yes, ma'am. Dr.
Okay,
Schumacher?
No, I just wanted to congratulate whoever wrote the grant for the number 1 for the nurse program grant.
Yes.
It is.
So please pass that to whomever pulled that together. Oh, thank you, ma'am.
Ms. Young? did you-
I gotta get to it, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Under the psychologist, the proposal information, what other resources are we using for special education, for professional development? Uh-huh.
Is that number 11?
What other professional development resources are you currently using?
Anita Kraft, Dr. Kraft.
It's 11.
We have approved another psychologist, but she's unable to work at the time. She is local, but she's having some family issues with some of her family members. So she went out in the summer, and she hadn't been able to come back. So I have a psychometrist that does the majority of the work, but she can't do EMD rooms. So Dr. Kraft have to come in and do those. And like I said, I did have hired in another lady that was local, but she hadn't been able to work. So Dr. Kraft is the only person that I have right now.
And did she terminate her contract, or she just hasn't come and worked any other days?
The other person? No, she hasn't come and worked she hasn't come to work any of those days. Her contract is still valid. She just had some issues that were going on with her father, and she hadn't been able to come in to do any testing. I had her, came in and did some testing for me back in the spring, but after the spring, she didn't come in at all during the summer, and she hasn't come in for this school year.
Any other questions? Ms. Bailey?
Did you have one, Dr. Schmidt?
Yeah, well, we're talking about hiring Dr. Kraft, right? Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that she's on the docket for this time to be paid.
At a higher quote?
No, it's.
She's already on the docket.
She's already on the docket to be paid. So I'm trying to figure out how that, if we don't have a contract with her.
We do have a contract for Dr. Kraft. She was approved back in June or July. She was on one of those dockets.
Okay. So, so this is another contract?
Yes.
Has that contract ended, or?
No, that contract was from July 1st until June the 30th.
So,
Is it the same rate, though?
No, she's coming in now at a higher quote. I was told that I had to bring her back to get her approved at a higher quote.
So
Because
the
the
first,
other lady was at a lower, her quote was lower, but she never came in to work.
Okay, but
So-
go ahead, I'm sorry.
so the first contract then would evidently be ended then? Because you said in June 30th, didn't you?
It ends June the 30th of 2025.
Oh, June of
I brought her
2020.
in, I think I asked, she was on the board docket for either May or June of this year, for this school year.
May I, Dr. Brown?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Bailey, so did you bring this back because she's now providing different and more services?
No, she's providing the same services, it's just that
price
she
has
wasn't
changed.
approved the first time at a higher quote than the other person. And so I was told that she
We
had to
have
come
a-
back at a higher quote.
So, other words, what you, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, Ms. Bailey, so, in other words, the original contract where she was hired at, it was for a lower
It was for
quote
it's for
than what's you asking now.
No, it's at the same price that I'm asking now. Her quote hadn't changed, it's just that I was told I had to send it up as a higher quote.
I'm a little confused about
So
that.
why is she on the docket?
Because-
How are we paying her? Well, you had a contract, is that it? I don't know.
Who told you?
Okay, so what was the original contract? I mean, what price? Give us some numbers, what
I wanna
price?
say it was like $17.50 a day.
So what is it now?
The same thing, it's the same.
No,
So why are you saying is that a higher quote?
Why is the code if it's the same thing?
I think it's different on here. It's 1775.
Yeah, 17, well, that's what I turned it in for in the beginning.
So let me ask you something. So Dr. Kraft already was approved to work this year.
Yes.
She's already been approved by the
Yes,
board.
and I want to.
So are you bringing it back so that you can get additional days for her, or?
No, I was told that she had to be contracted at a higher quote, and I guess it was compared to the other,
Quote that you had from the lady
Yes.
that never showed?
that never showed. So I had to get her approved as a higher quote.
Okay.
So what about the contract with the lady that ain't showed up, and what we gonna do with it?
It's still, the contract is still good, she just haven't shown
So
up.
if she show up, we'll have two people doing it.
Yes, and Dr. Kraft is contracted, but she's out of the,
I understand that part, but I'm just trying to figure out if the lady, so Dr. Kraft is gonna take over what the lady not doing, or she gonna be additional to the lady?
Dr. Kraft has always been here.
I understand that
Okay.
part, but is she
So-
gonna assume responsibilities of this lady that's not here? That's why you
Yes.
asking for some more money for her? No?
No, I'm not asking for any more money.
So when you originally got the quote, Dr. Kraft had a quote, and whoever this other lady had a
Had a
quote.
quote.
The other, Dr. Kraft had the higher quote, and the other
Right.
lady had the lower
Right,
quote.
had the
So
lower
you had to go, originally went with the lowest and best that you thought was this other lady, but she didn't show up, and so now you need somebody to test your kids. And so
Right.
now you're saying that you want to bring it back before the board so that they understand that Dr. Kraft is the person that you are going to be using
Right.
because the other person didn't show.
Right.
I assume if the other lady shows up and she's able to come, then you can then reduce the days of
For
Dr. Kraft.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just,
And Dr. Kraft only comes, maybe once every 2 months, because she only works with my EMD students. She's a licensed psychologist. She can do all the testing.
You talking about two contracts, I hear what you're saying, but it ain't adding up. Not to where,
So I need to pull the original contract and let you look at it.
Yes, if you would.
Yeah. Excuse me? Right, I have Lindsay and I have Kraft. Right,
why we approving it?
Right,
It was
that's where
already
you-
because I was told she had to come up as a higher quote, and that's what, yeah.
So
it's
that
like-
means that she has a different daily rate of pay, is that what you're saying?
No, it's still the same.
Quote.
Yeah.
But the problem is, we're paying her now. This lady's on the docket now.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Why are we bringing it back?
Well, Ms. Bailey, who advised you that you need to bring it back
Ms.
before the board?
Rogers.
That you need to bring it back before the board?
And get her approved at the highest, at the quote that she said I had to turn it in as, with her being for a higher quote. I'm thinking that it's comparing to Ms. Lindsay's
So
quote.
you gonna nullify
And-
that contract and move to a new contract?
I didn't hear you.
So so the contract she under now, if we approve this, it's gonna nullify that one and put in the new one.
It should,
That's what we asked.
it should.
So in other words, the original contract should be voided. Right, counsel? That's the way I understand, that's the only way you can do it. So she can't have two contracts, so you're gonna have to void the original contract. If we vote to accept the one that you asking the board to approve tonight. Because, okay, she providing the same services, right?
Correct. At the same amount that I turned in the spring.
Okay, so no additional responsibility or anything?
None.
So then, from that aspect, you don't have no other choice except to void the original contract. And then, I mean, if you want the board to accept the one tonight, counsel, you wanna chime in?
Smith, I'm probably more confused than you are, because I don't know why we had to bring it back. We had a contract, it's already working, already the same rate of pay, there's no change. I'm not sure why we're doing it again.
Are we sure that there's no change? That's, I guess, that would
There's
be my
no ch-
primary question.
No, ma'am, there's no change.
The
None.
1775 is what's
It's-
on the original contract.
And that's what, yes, ma'am,
And the responsibilities are still the same.
still the same. It's just that she's at a higher quote than the other lady that we're using.
But we were also using her already also.
Right.
We had to approve the contract for her.
Or do we have a contract with the lady? I mean, it just,
I'm pretty sure that we did.
Mhm. We can, they tell me that's what I have to do. I mean,
table it until we get more, can we remove it until we get additional information?
Yeah.
'Cause
Why
I ain't
don't-
with that.
Why don't we table this until we get, additional information? Is that, Madam Chairman?
So, yes, so we'll remove item 11?
Yeah, I make a motion that we table it. So a substitute motion. Yeah, because we already have a motion
Okay,
in a second, so
10,
1 through 10.
yes.
I make a substitute motion that we approve 1 through 10.
Thank you, Ms. Bailey.
And table
Okay.
11.
Okay. So we have a motion by Mr. Smith. It was by Ms. Young. And a substitute motion by Mr. Smith. And I'll make the second to approve
You make
1
the
through.
second to the substitute
So
motion.
The second
Because
to the substitute motion.
Have precedent over the original motion.
Right.
Okay,
And the motion is by you,
right,
and the second is by me.
that's right.
Uh-huh. To approve items 1 through 10. Okay.
And
And table 11.
That's right.
Okay. Any more questions?
Yeah,
All in favor?
that take care.
Thank you.
Original motion died.
Okay,
Right.
Yeah.
That's correct.
okay. Moving to item B, 9B. Dates to remember, policy BCBD. Number 1 is the academics. A, October 17th, 2024 at 5 o'clock, Columbus Municipal School District Be Like Us celebration. Congratulations. Parade, downtown Columbus. Number B, November the 18th and 19th, 2024 is the MSBA Fall Conference in Flowood. Item C, November 21st, progress reports. November 25th through the 29th is the Thanksgiving break. Item 2, athletics. Please refer to your attachments for those dates and times. Number 3, board meetings. November 7th, 2024, the Board of Trustees review meeting will be held at Fairview Elementary School at 11:30. November 11th, the Board of Trustees regular meeting will be held at Brandon Central Services Center at 5:00 p.m. Moving to item 10, closed determination for executive session, policy BCBK. Is there a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Smith. Thank you. In executive session, the board approved to uphold the recommendations of the superintendent for student matters, and we also approve minutes for the regular executive session for September 9th, 2024. At this time, we have Ms. Bailey, who's back for that item 11 in the consent agenda. She has acquired her information, and she'd like to bring it back to the board.
Before y'all take any action on it, you'd have to remove it from the table, but you can listen to her if y'all.
Okay. Anybody object? Thank you. Oh, it's two pieces. Uh-huh.
Show you the documents where Dr. Kraft was approved back in April. But on this document, she was not approved as a higher quote. Ms. Lindsay's, contract was on there as well. And if you'll look at that request for proposal, the last page has her salary at the $17.75.
These are the May minutes. You said she was approved in April?
She was approved, yeah, this one was, well, yeah, back in May.
Okay.
Right.
I'm just trying to find it. Oh, I got it. It's on page 5. It's number 20.
And then her contract is on page 545.
Okay. So we've got both Lindsay and we've got Kraft.
Okay.
I don't have that, copy, I don't have a copy of that first one.
Right, and 28 is Ms. Lindsay, who is the one that's not adhering to the contract, but the contract's still valid, right?
Right. Right. Mhm. Higher quote.
Okay, but not putting words in your mouth when I ask you the question. Where did you get this information that you was advised? You said that Ms. Rogers advised you this, right?
Okay, right, because when I go in to do requisitions to get POs, there are certain documents I have to upload in certain places. And I didn't, when she told me to upload the board approved minutes, and I uploaded it, she didn't see where it had higher quote for Dr. Pratt on it, so she told me I had to bring it back to the board to get it approved for her to be used as a higher quote.
Well, I think it's still some question I have, is that doctor, we still need to table it until you talk to Dr. Rogers to see why she recommended that it come back, that, Ms. Bailey, excuse me, Ms. Bailey bring it back at a higher quote. I'd like to know that myself. Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Moving to item 13. Adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Smith, and I'll make the second. All in favor?